Alright, hello people, this is the Crunchy Set, and this is going to be part 2 of what if female Deku was Upper Moon Zero. Now, where we last left off, I believe it was where Izumi and her younger brother were moving around Japan. Now, I don't think I've actually explained what her younger brother's blood demon art is. So, Izumi's younger brother's blood demon art is basically, he can generate large amounts of electricity in his fingers and send them out. If you want a good visual example, think about lightning, like any form of lightning magic you've seen in any fantasy genre, or the lightning from Star Wars. So that's a good visual representation. Anyway, continuing forward. So right now, Izumi is currently moving through the city at night. And this is around the same time after Shigaraki had destroyed his home and accidentally killed his family. And this is also the same time Toya faked his death. As I'll say Izumi ends up finding them in an alleyway. Okay, so I'm just going to explain the one rule Izumi has as a demon. She doesn't kill and devour children. So when she sees these two children, she begins to feel bad for them because they have nowhere else to go. As sort of like how All For One did with Shigaraki, Izumi reaches her hand out in a way to help Toya and Shigaraki. And they are both in the same alleyway right now. As Izumi helps them and takes them to her apartment. As once she takes them there, she says to make themselves at home. As they are looking at this apartment, as it is pretty nice. Like, it's not average looking, it's about above average. As Izumi would basically help them in any way that she could, being like a mother figure to them. And during this time, the Hero Association is currently working with the Demon Slayer Corps to produce heroes who are not only capable of using their quirks effectively, but are also capable of using breathing techniques. One of these people was the person we all know, Toshinori Yagi, All Might. As All Might still has One for All, and his breathing technique is I'll say his breathing technique is stone breathing. Yeah, his breathing technique will be stone breathing. If you guys want me to change his stone breathing, then I can retcon this part about his breathing technique and then change it later. And All Might basically does climb through the ranks and becomes the number one hero. And he's currently dedicating his life to searching for Upper Moon Zero. As all they have to go on are the eyes, as they don't have her actual physical appearance down, since anybody who had encountered her would not be seen again. Apart from those 3 Hashiras that they found. As Izumi would be raising Shigaraki and Dabi, and eventually Dabi and Shigaraki ask her. Now, Shigaraki and Dabi do know that she's a demon, and know that she's Upper Moon Zero, one of the strongest demons on the planet. Now, I'll basically explain her placement on sorry about that. As I was saying, her placement is she's somewhere between Demon King Tanjiro and Yoriichi in terms of power. So she could beat Demon King Tanjiro with difficulty, but she could put up a fight against Yoriichi, but she would lose. As Shigaraki and Dabi ask her to turn them into demons. As being their mother, she actually sees herself as their mother, so she does worry a bit. She does contemplate the choice on if they would survive or not. But in the end, she opts to do it with the help of her younger brother, just in case they need to, restart their hearts. As Izumi would basically inject them with her blood by doing it the same way Muzan did, by basically piercing their skin with her nails and then injecting it into them. As Shigaraki and Dabi would writhe on the floor in pain, as once they were done, they stood up, with Shigaraki's eyes basically being that of Upper Moon reading Upper Moon 1, and Dabi's reading Upper Moon 2. As Izumi would be glad that they had managed to survive this, as she basically tells them about their weaknesses, about how their head can be cut off, and they will die from it, and that they cannot go out in the sun. But she does tell them that since they're respectively Upper Moon 1 and Upper Moon 2, there is a possibility that they are able to regrow their heads. As she explains that she had discovered, after her fight with Ahashira, once she got careless, she found that her head had been removed, but she ended up regrowing it, as she would then basically tell them stories about all her battles against Hashira over the years, over the centuries, and that she was actually stronger than the Demon King himself, but she was never deployed because she never listened to the Demon King, so she just went about doing her own thing. As we'll then cut to the beginning of the anime, actually a day before the beginning of the anime, at nighttime, when Izumi, Shigaraki, and Dabi are out hunting for humans to devour. As they had found a group of people, as they would have basically defeated them and ended up devouring them. And just as they were finishing their meal, a pro hero / Hashira had appeared, / Demon Slayer had appeared. Now since they are still quite new to the hero scene, they are also a low-ranking member of the Demon Slayer Corps. As the pro hero would say, "Stop right there, you foul demons." As all three of them would turn around, showing their eyes, as the pro hero would begin to panic as he realizes these aren't just ordinary demons, these are upper moons, and he realizes that he stands no chance, as he begins to panic and then begins to run. As Izumi would basically catch him with the ruby threads, as she would say, "Did you really think you'd be able to get away that easily? "You truly are pathetic," as she would pull him back into the alleyway, where she would basically take her hand and basically put it right, sort of like she basically pulled a Dr. Giro on the guy. And if you don't know what I mean, she basically puts her hand through his torso. Now, I'm not going into detail because I know YouTube will come for my ass about this. Anyway, the pro hero ends up passing from that, as they would then end up devouring him and then leave. As the next day, the news reports about this, as the Demon Slayers / Hero Association are basically angered at the fact that they are losing more and more of them each day. As the Hashiras say that they are going to have to up the training of these students in order to be able to defeat these demons. And the fact that there are 2 more of them now is terrifying. As Izumi and Shigaraki and Dabi would make it home just as the sun was rising, as Izumi's younger brother would greet them, as they would then... Now, all the curtains and all the windows and all that have been boarded up, so no light can get in. As Izumi and the rest of them would relax, as Shigaraki and Dabi would ask, "So, what is the plan now, mother?" As she would say, "Well, first off, we will need to figure out a way to conquer the sun. Because once we've done that, there's nothing can stop us after we've done that." As Shigaraki and Dabi would say, "So what's the plan?" As Izumi would say, "Well, the 2 of you are well aware of my blood demon art, correct?" As they would say, "Yeah, you can copy others' abilities, right?" As she would say, "You are correct, but it doesn't specify quirks. It also specifies other blood demon arts and breathing techniques. And over the years, I have collected a fair amount of them. But I'm currently missing one breathing technique." As they would say, "And what would that breathing technique be?" As Izumi would look to them with her eyes like this, as she would say, "The breath of the sun." And that is where I'm going to leave this part off. I do hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you all next time.